All-Star Saturday night. Quick overview here, and then give you some All-Star game picks for Underdog Fantasy. Skills challenge, like I think we've all acknowledged, they got to move on from that. They got to fill that time with something else. They've gotten creative with the home team and the this and that. My favorite part of that was Scotty Barnes losing the ball, dribbling up the court, and everybody kind of grinning about it, and Ann Edwards going, how you lose the ball, brother? How you lose the ball? And the tone that he said it with was just like, brother, like, why? What are you doing, right? But yeah, I think we all can agree we can do away with the skills challenge, right? 3-point shootout. I had Kat and Trey Young as my two picks for that one, based off one, they had been there before, right? It's not their first experience, and then their mechanics. It's a very easy push shot with not a lot of leg in it and something that they can replicate, pulling it off a rack, and then Dame pulled it out, right? And it's interesting, Dame, he's kind of doing this, like you heard him with that comment the other day, oh, I ain't got it no more. He was trying to replicate that game winner. His confidence is kind of wobbling, and he's all but said so. He's been dealing with a lot personally, going through a divorce, moving across the country, not being the first option on his team for the first time ever. So Dame is kind of going through it, and I'm curious to see, where this takes him in this phase of his career. But Dame goes back-to-back three-point competition. Steph and Sabrina stole the show. Kenny Smith, I think, got caught up trying to be the antagonist throughout the telecast with Reggie Miller. So it is what it is. But I think people, most of you understood what that was about, right? It was about shining light on the women's game. And Steph, it wasn't about winning. It wasn't about any of this. Again, it was about shining light on some of these young ladies who are exceptional at basketball but aren't getting, the exposure that they should. And these girls that are coming up now, Caitlin Clark, don't be surprised if she's on this Warriors WNBA team, which I will cover. I think they're going to have to figure out a way for that to happen. You talk about the heir apparent to Steph, but I digress. We're talking about this one-off shootout between he and Sabrina. And, again, just shining light. Steph, cold off the bench, comes out and scores the highest round of anybody on that night in the three-point shootout. And Sabrina, I think what's wild for me with her shot, at least just in this competition, is she takes that extra hop on each shot. So for her to have the all-time record on racks in a single round is incredible, just again because of the efficiency of that hop. But there's no doubt she's a knockdown shooter. I think Caitlin Clark probably give her a run for her money from range and just the how many she takes, right? But I've always enjoyed the 3-point shootout because you get a different look and angle at these guys' shot mechanics, even though some of them don't shoot the same shot they shoot in game. And that's why I stay away from certain guys. Like a Donovan Mitchell, you saw him trying to take a set shot. That's not his shot, right? But I think if you're a hooper and you're trying to analyze the mechanics and blueprint some of the stuff that you can see from these great shooters, look at the feet and look at the rhythm, right? I know a lot of people like to focus on the release and the follow through. And listen, it's all part of the shot. But I think what you can learn most from these pro shooters in these comps is, again, their footwork into it and their rhythm. Now, Underdog Fantasy, I have some picks for you for the All-Star game. Football is over. So those of you that play the football and looking for more action, I encourage you to jump on. Use the code Alchemy. You'll get 100% bonus on your first deposit up to $100. I'm up. You got to stay steady. You're not going to win everything, but if you stay the course, and I'm going to continue to start giving out more picks here and make a push towards the playoffs. So join us, have some fun. I think it's a better way to ration out your picks as opposed to some traditional others, apps out there. But my All-Star game picks, Tatum is the Athletic Alchemy juiced pick. Don't ask me why it's Tatum. I guess they want people to throw their own action on Steph. I thought it would be Steph with me in my channel, but hey, it's Tatum. So that's the give me. 0.5, higher than 0.5 points. I'm going to go SGA higher than 17.5. His first start in an All-Star game, the young fellas usually are willing to use a little more juice, right, in their legs throughout the game. I figure he's going to play a lot, 17.5. And then the hometown boy, Tyrese Halliburton, has been everywhere switching up the voices like Kermit and whatnot. No, he's a really likable cat. You imagine he's going to get 10 assists. He's going to play enough minutes, and that's his game, right? So I've got Tatum, which is the gimme, the alchemy special, SGA higher than 17 and a half, and then Ty Halliburton higher than 10 assists. Steph, what is he sitting at 6.5 threes, 6 threes right now? I'm just not so sure how much he's going to play. And is he going to just take a back seat to letting these young fellas get up and down the court? But I mean, he could hit 6 threes in a quarter the way this game is played. So that's always probably a good pick either way. Let's talk about the death of the dunk contest. I mean, first off, the video court just screamed gimmick, right? Like it just screamed gimmick. And then I know, let's show the dunks from the top down because that'll give you a good perspective on the dunk. man. And they have no shame, right? You had the State Farm guy coming in and running an ad and dapping somebody up, right? And then Kai Sent is like, I guess the NBA's Taylor Swift. I am so tired of seeing this dude this weekend at AllStar. It was just like, come on, man. It's a skit. It's an act. And then surprise, surprise, Jaylen Brown can't really read the room. He's one of those guys, right? I thought the McClung throw it to himself one was very gimmicky, but ultimately he did have the best dunk with that two-handed kind of twisting windmill on the baseline. But I think also what they tried to do was fool us with the judging scores. And they purposefully tried to score the dunks more critically and with lower scores so that inevitably when they do give a 50, it's like, oh, they finally got a 50, right? But it wasn't fooling anybody. Hadn't seen Fred Jones since he robbed my guy Jay Rich of that dunk comp all those years ago, 20 years ago. But yeah, man, they got to do something different. They got to do something different with that. And we've been saying it for years, but they just keep adding to the gimmicks. Oh, I'm bringing out this jersey. Oh, I'm wearing these shoes, right? It's just go out there and dunk the ball, man. Go out there and dunk the ball. Hey, if you really want to get wild, have it dunking on somebody. Get out the shot blockers. Now, they would never allow that, right? Because someone would eventually get chipped up. But yeah, man, it's kind of weird because someone who covers the league, you feel obligated to watch it. But at this point, it's like kind of don't really want to watch it, right? At least that's how I feel. And the three-point shooting and Steph and him bringing light to the women's game was, again, the highlight of Saturday night. Now, tonight, AllStar game, I think, is a little more fun. Not even necessarily for the competitive aspect of it, because as we know it isn't that competitive, for the interactions between these guys, right? And the recruiting that happens and stuff like that. That's what I'm always checking for. And then again, the underdog picks, I really like those. Win a little something, something. Keep it pushing into the second half of the season here where I'm going to continue to give those out. And I'll be back this week with some big picture take on the Warriors. People have had some questions for me. I'm going to do a mailbag and a live stream for my patrons. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.